Ever walked into the kitchen and found your cat performing a dramatic floor-length stretch right at your feet? It's a classic scene in our homes, and while it looks like a simple wake-up call, it's actually something far more profound. Behaviorists see this as a low-threat signal. By lengthening their bodies and exposing that soft, vulnerable belly, your feline companion is issuing you a vulnerability voucher, a silent testament that they feel completely safe in your presence. But before you reach down for a pat, there is a subtle etiquette you need to master to keep that trust alive. Let's dive into the biological why behind this beautiful silent "I love you." Now, you might naturally assume your feline friend is just shaking off a long nap, and you're partly right. Cats certainly stretch to reactivate their muscles after a deep rest. However, in the sophisticated language of the animal kingdom, a stretch is much more than just a physical yawn. It is a profound communication tool. I like to call it the vulnerability voucher. You see, when a cat is happy and content, their entire posture becomes loose with their limbs and tail stretched out comfortably away from their body. Compare that to a stressed or defensive cat, which will stay hunched up tense and ready to flee at a moment's notice. By choosing to stretch out in your presence and expose that soft, unprotected belly, your cat is making a bold, silent statement. They believe their environment is entirely secure, and their perception of threat is at an absolute zero. It is truly a silent "I love you," a way of offering their vulnerability as a sign of deep-rooted trust and affection. They are essentially telling you that you are their safe space in an unpredictable world. But here's the catch: just because they are showing you their trust doesn't mean they're inviting a hand to the belly. In fact, reacting the wrong way can turn this moment of love into a total misunderstanding. The belly trap is where things usually go south, so let's look at how to respond properly without getting swatted. So you've just received that beautiful vulnerability voucher we talked about. Your natural instinct, and let's be honest, it's nearly impossible to resist, is to reach right down and give them a big loving squeeze. But here's where we well-meaning cat parents often get it wrong. Think about how you'd feel if you were mid-yawn or stretching your back after a long nap and someone suddenly grabbed your shoulders. It's a bit jarring, isn't it? Our feline friends feel the exact same way. Interrupting a cat's stretch is actually quite annoying to them. It breaks their flow and startles their senses. Experienced cat owners and even emergency veterinarians agree the golden rule is to let them finish the stretch completely before you attempt to interact. To truly honor their greeting, keep your hands minimal and resist that powerful urge to scoop them up right away. Instead, try being reverent. Greet them with a brief nose offered, perhaps keeping your hands relaxed, or even behind your back at first to show you aren't a threat. This hands-off approach might feel counterintuitive to us, but to a cat, it's the ultimate sign of respect. It tells them you speak their language and value their boundaries. However, even if you master the perfect greeting protocol, there is one tempting sight that leads many of us into a literal claws-out situation. That temptation is the belly trap, and understanding the difference between trust and a touch invitation is vital for your safety. We've all been there. Your cat rolls over, stretches out a country mile, and offers up that plush, irresistible belly. To us humans, it looks like a wide-open invitation for a snuggle. But in the world of feline etiquette, this is perhaps the most misunderstood signal of all. While a happy cat showing their belly definitely indicates they feel safe and trust you completely, it is not necessarily an invitation for a belly rub. You see, the belly is where a cat's most vital organs are located. Risking the exposure of such a vulnerable body part is their way of saying their perception of threat is at an absolute zero. However, for many of our furry friends, this poses a trap. If you misread this sign of trust as a request for pets, you might be met with bunny kicks or defensive nibbles. It's important to remember that a cat showing these signs of aggression or overstimulation isn't being mean. They are often just panicking because their boundaries were crossed. By respecting the "look but don't touch" rule, you become a much better advocate for your cat's well-being. You are essentially telling them, "I see your trust and I respect it." But did you know there's a way to confirm their love without even moving a muscle? To find that confirmation, we have to look up from the belly and right into their eyes for the famous cat kiss. When you've successfully navigated the belly trap and respected your cat's boundaries, it's time to shift your focus from their paws to their eyes. Have you ever noticed that right in the middle of a luxurious full-body stretch, your cat locks eyes with you and then slowly, deliberately closes them? This isn't just a lingering bit of sleepiness. It's what behaviorists call the cat-kiss combo. In the animal kingdom, closing one's eyes in the presence of another is a massive risk. So when your cat does this, it's the ultimate gesture of trust and vulnerability. When a slow blink is perfectly synced with a stretch, it confirms that your cat's nervous system is in a state of pure, unadulterated contentment. It's their way of offering a signal of kindness and positivity to ensure you know they aren't about to attack. This is their love language in its purest form. If you want to deepen that bond, try mirroring them by offering a slow blink back. It's the feline equivalent of a warm, reassuring smile that reinforces your shared connection. By responding in their language, you are telling them that you receive their signal of love and that the feeling is mutual. But as much as we cherish these peaceful, silent dialogues, our cats often have a much more active and sometimes clumsy way of demanding our attention that can be quite a surprise. Let's talk about why your cat suddenly decides to become a living roadblock the moment you try to walk across the room. We've all had those moments where our dear feline friends transform into what many of us aptly call a tripping hazard or a roadblock. You're simply trying to walk across the room and suddenly they run right in front of you, stop and go into that long leg-extended stretch. It's as if they've graduated from a specialized kitten school where they learned the perfect walk and weave technique just to be underfoot. While it might feel like they're trying to test your balance, this speed bump behavior is actually a significant social signal. By staying right in the middle of a doorway or hallway, they are ensuring they have your absolute attention. They follow you because they want to be near you and feel safe in your presence. This is often their way of asking for a fuss, a little attention, or a simple greeting acknowledgement. Instead of seeing it as a nuisance, try to view it as their clumsy, lovable way of saying, "Hey, I'm here, and I want you to notice me." It's a physical manifestation of their desire to be part of your every move. But have you ever wondered how they can transition from a deep sleep to these athletic, room-blocking stretches so effortlessly? To understand that physical magic, we have to look at the biology of how they prepare for a hunt the moment they wake up. Have you ever looked at your feline friend after their 10th nap of the day and thought, must be nice to be that lazy? Some of us even jokingly call them good-for-nothing freeloaders as they sprawl out across the kitchen floor. But what looks like simple lounging is actually a masterpiece of biological engineering. Cats are crepuscular hunters, meaning they are naturally wired to be most active at dawn and dusk. Because they spend so much of their day in deep sleep, sometimes up to 15 hours, their blood pressure drops and their muscles stiffen. When your cat performs that signature yoga move, they are essentially rebooting their system. Stretching elongates the muscle fibers and kickstarts blood flow to the brain and extremities, instantly transitioning them from a state of total rest to being hunt-ready. Some of the comments on this video suggest there is no mystery or no evidence of communication here, but for a cat, this ritual is vital physical maintenance. They aren't just being cute. They are keeping their equipment sharp and ready for action. It is a beautiful, necessary process to witness, but for some cats, this display of physical readiness carries a much heavier emotional weight, especially for those who are missing the very tools nature gave them for protection. This brings us to a sensitive but crucial topic: how trust changes when a cat feels vulnerable, particularly our friends who are declawed. We've discussed how stretching prepares a cat for the hunt. But for many of our feline friends, the stakes of trust are much higher than just chasing a laser. A significant and passionate discussion has surfaced in our community regarding the safety of outdoor cats, specifically the heartbreaking reality of those who have been declawed. It's a sensitive issue, but it brings us to a crucial point about what I call the vulnerability factor. For cats who have unfortunately been declawed, these displays of trust, like that long belly-up stretch, carry an emotional weight that is hard to overstate. Without their natural defenses, these cats are acutely aware that they cannot fight back if a situation turns sour. When they choose to stretch out in your presence, they are essentially trusting you to be the claws they no longer possess. They are gambling their physical safety on your character. Seeing a vulnerable cat, much like the stories shared in the comments about neighborhood strays seeking refuge in bunkers or garages, offer such a high-stakes greeting, is a moving testament to the bond you've built. It's a quiet, beautiful moment where they say, "I am safe because you are here to protect me." It shifts our role from mere owners to true guardians of their peace. But understanding this vulnerability is only the beginning. Once you realize the depth of the trust they are handing you, you'll want to know exactly how to speak back to them in a way they truly understand. That conversation happens through the mirroring technique, the ultimate way to tell your cat, "I love you too," without saying a single word. Now that you understand the depth of trust behind that long stretch, you're probably wondering, how do I say "I love you" back in a way they truly hear? The answer lies in the mirroring technique. Animals, especially cats, communicate through subtle physical mimicry to reinforce social bonds. When your cat stretches in front of you, they are inviting you into a shared social dance. One of our viewers at Halavana mentioned stretching back at their cat without even knowing it was the right thing to do. And they were spot on. By mimicking their relaxed posture, you are confirming that you too feel safe and content in their presence. But it doesn't stop at the limbs. Combine your mirror stretch with a slow blink, that famous cat kiss we mentioned earlier. Closing your eyes deliberately tells your cat that you aren't a predator and that you trust them with your life just as much as they trust you with theirs. It is a powerful way to lower their stress and solidify the connection you've built over the years. It's not just slop or nonsense. It is a deliberate, heart-centered dialogue that bypasses words entirely. By speaking feline, you aren't just a pet owner anymore. Bonds like this are what make being a furball mom or dad so incredibly rewarding. Now that we've decoded their silent language, I want to hear about the special bond you share with your own feline companions. Every silent stretch is a small miracle of trust between you and your feline companion. To celebrate these beautiful bonds, we'd love to honor your furry friends. What is your sweet cat's name? Please share it in the comments below as a tribute to the joy they bring to your home. Also, did this video help you finally decode the mystery of the belly trap? Or is there another strange behavior your cat does that you're curious about, whether it's a tripping hazard move or a Steven stretch? Your questions help us grow this community of dedicated cat guardians. Thank you so much for watching until the very end and for giving your cats the love and respect they deserve. We look forward to reading your stories and seeing you in our next journey together.